He wants to throw the black card out to make it seem like it's black on black crime. Nah, Negro. You are Samuel Jackson. Matter of fact, you Chicken George, Stephen Fletcher, you all those people. Bojangles, he's all those people under the skies of the bush and the glasses. I already know who you're from. But at the end of the day, when we see each other, have that same energy. When we see each other, have that same energy. And if you don't, I'm gonna want to make sure that everybody know that you didn't have that energy. Take it like that.
Mr. Calvin Ford, you know that I love you and I love what you've been doing. And I'm a big fan of everything. But right is right and wrong is wrong. It's time that you get paid. And Ron has started a GoFundMe page. Ron, can you tell them more about the GoFundMe page that you're starting for Mr. Ford?
I mean, throw me off guard. I didn't know that was going to start a
Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. B-Hop said, nah, Negro. Nah. What you trying to do is make it seem like it's some black on black crime. But you know what I find so funny when it comes to Bill? Man, ain't it crazy how when a bully, he's so used to bullying everybody and then he run into a real bully, you know what I'm saying? Somebody that ain't really up for the shenanigans, you know what I'm saying? Like a real one, you know, and I sit back, man. I sat back and I've been watching this for so long, and part of me kind of felt bad because part of me was like, man, I hope something bad happened. You know what I'm saying? For the longest time, I said, oh man, somebody need to really like put something in his mouth, like for real. Somebody like really need to like put something in his mouth, like. And I had been like patiently waiting. I had been watching it. You know what I'm saying? I watch him. He run over to the boxing mouth, and he can say, and he can pick and choose and say whatever he want to whoever he want. You know what I'm saying? It was a pattern. Because if you recall, right, they did it to, like, he was a bully when it came to Pauli. It was all this tough talk. Like, you can't just be an analyst and analyze, you know, Devin along with all the other boxers like you do Shakur and you do Tank. And you do T.O., you know, and Ryan. You can't just analyze them. But every time somebody says anything about Devin, there you go with Wild Bill. And they even, you know, in the LDBC, which I call the Hippos Den boxing community, they promote that. Because let me tell you a little story. It was a couple years. It's the second year now. It was some point early last year. I went on to one of their shows, the head corporal, the black fighter. I went on there to the show, right? I was listening to the show, and they were talking about recreating back Black Wall Street, right? And I was like, man, it was a beautiful conversation. So I sat back, I'm listening, I'm vibing, you know what I'm saying? I'm on my way home. I'm like, cool, you know what I'm saying? It was like talking about rebuilding Black Wall Street. I'm all aboard, I'm listening to all the ideas, and I'm like, man, it was a euphoria. And I said, you know, my whole thing was, man, did we learn what I said in my comments? Now, mind you, before that, I had been super chatting and commenting and saying a whole bunch of stuff, always supporting, right? So I say, man, and this wasn't the first time they did this. They did this before when I was talking to Devin, and he jumped out there on me. Black Fighter himself, he jumped out there on me. So I'm like, okay, cool, you know, because I'm an 80-20 guy. So 80% of the stuff most people be saying, I be rocking with. 20%, you can keep it. That's about everything. It's a couple channels where I'm about 95, 90. Those are the channels that I started to gravitate towards. But I don't no longer go to channels where I really don't want and chime in. I might go look, you know what I'm saying, and go see what's going on. But this day, I was in there enjoying the conversation. And I said, did we not learn from our ancestors? Because if we don't have a military first to protect what we're going to rebuild, then we'll be rehearsing the mistakes of our ancestors. You know what they called me? Coon. They said, look, it's always got to be one of y'all that's going to come in here. I said, no, I'm being real. But see, I'm military. I was in the military. You know what I'm saying? That's how I think. I'm always thinking military. So I'm like, this coon talk and always getting away with calling another black person a coon, you know what I'm saying, being all disrespectful, you know, just like the Django conversation, all that Bill had, that's where he gets it. And their motto is, it's LDBC or nothing, right? And I knew that one day these chickens are going to come home to roost. So let's fast forward. Rewind. They did it to Pauli. When Pauli was being an analyst or whatever, because of the comments he said or whatever, they won't let that go. It's been some time. Stuff was blown out of proportion. Everybody let it go. He's doing his thing. He's been doing his thing for a while now. You know what I'm saying? His son made a comment about how a white boy would never beat him. He'll never let a white boy beat him. Now he got his second white boy in a row in front of him, and it's dragging along. Want more concessions and all that. But they was bullying Pauli. And see, me being out here in Baltimore, with Tank being, you know what I'm saying, my guy, Coach Calvin, Coach Kenny, you know what I'm saying, them being my folks, the ones that I represent for, the ones that I rock with, the ones that I'm saying, hey, I see what they do in the community, so we got to uphold them. Just like I was doing with the Russells when I was like, even though Tank and them and all this, you know, all that, the DMV and Baltimore and DC and all that, whatever, all of that, all of them was my peoples. I've been advocating and expressing my love for all of them people, right? And I see what Coach Calvin was doing out here in the community. But Wild Bill, with his mouth, got Coach Calvin to the point where Coach Calvin was online and he was like, man, get off my dick. Now you got to understand that they're both Muslims, right? So why would you go to your fellow Muslim? And B-Hop is Muslim too. So you don't represent for the Muslims, but you're using that now for this fight to garner praise in Saudi, right? But the way I was looking at it is like, you gotta really be out of pocket to get Coach Calvin out of character like that. It's really hard, especially given what he's been through. You know, they clowned him for not, you know, when Tank said he would whoop Camboza's ass, but he could keep them belts and he wasn't going over to Australia. Part of me was probably thinking that he knew Coach Calvin or whatever it would be for him to get over to Australia. That probably was a part of the reason, aside from not wanting to pay all them sanction fees. But you got to figure that factored into one of the reasons why he didn't want to make that decision. Bill been going ham. Every other day got Tank name in his mouth. Every other day he got something to say about Coach Calvin. How much he getting paid. Pocket watching pockets. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people out here in Baltimore was just like, it's very interesting that you be talking all that stuff, you know what I'm saying, when you be out there on, you know, on your Bill Haney, on your Wild Bill, you know what I'm saying? Thinking that, okay, you got a whole coast out there behind you, but like not knowing that you're gonna have to go out and about to some of these places. I was like, man, you know, some people, man, they don't take too kindly of that. Especially when you see what they do in the community. So that's Baltimore. That's like this neck of the woods out here in the Baltimore area, right? But then you had that thing with Gary Russell. And you slandered Gary Russell. For years, you've been slandering Gary Russell. You got cronies online, lying, twisting the truth around, you know, and just had the Russells being shitted on all that time. You know what I'm saying? You had some choice words. You said some things. I'm not going to repeat what you said about the Russells in that regard. Then you had the DC area all in an uproar. And then when Keyshawn was coming out in support of Shakur, he said whatever, you came out and you called Shakur and Keyshawn the B word. And I did a video about it. I was the only one because the LDBC was trying to blackball Shakur. Trying to say he wasn't black because he came out with his Puerto Rican flag and all this or whatever. Trying to say the man wasn't black no more. And I said, oh, so is it cool? Because you want to play this father-son role. Is it cool when the father is out here calling former Olympians the B word? Like, where does the promotion end, and where does you being, because if somebody called your son that, you would have a problem. Nobody ever did that though. So then you upset, so that's New Jersey, then you got VA. We already talked about Baltimore and DC. So you just ruffling all these feathers all up and down the East Coast, right? You tried to bully Pauli. Got away with it because everybody was like, oh man, yeah, Pauli ain't gonna fight. And everybody entertained it, but you kept going. And you keep going and you keep going and you keep. So then you come up on B-Hop. And you had these words. And now, after B-Hop came out and said, you know what, Negro, keep that same energy. Now, you on police call. Now you out there, now you out here running around trying to make it seem like, oh, whenever a father and when the bully, but no, you was out there bullying. You was out there saying things, you know what I'm saying, out your mouth that you knew one day you was gonna have to pay for. And at first I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, nah, we need to work together. No, but sometimes people need a foot put in their ass. And I can't wait to see what's gonna happen. But no, it's okay when you out there bullying. It's okay when you out there saying whatever you gotta say to everybody else. Now you done barked up the wrong tree. So now you got Philly involved. Now you dealing with a Philly legend that's known to practice what he preach. A legend. So we can't make light of it now. Ain't gonna be no retracting. The proper thing to do would have been, or the Muslim thing to do would have been to come out and say, you know what? Maybe my word, maybe I went a little bit overboard. But you can say and do whatever you want. And now those chickens are gonna come home to roost. And all that calling other black people coons. I've been said it when they was doing it with Bud, calling Bud a coon. I said, because there's certain things that it's a boundary that you overstep. Especially when you're dealing with legends and people that get hit in the head and living. It's like, yeah, okay, critiquing somebody and calling them a duck and saying, oh man, you know, they can't fight, or, you know, things inside of it. But it goes past the point to where at some point, when it becomes personal and you say something that you really shouldn't have said, it's gonna be a time when there's no more idle words. You know, there's no more idle words. You're going to have to answer to everything you said. And I'm here for it. I can't wait because it's a long time coming. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people will give you their platform, you know, like the boxing mouth. They allow you to say those outrageous things for likes, clicks, and views. But I can't wait. I can't wait to see what happens when you get a whole foot put up your ass. You know what I'm saying? I cannot wait. I'll be here for it. You know what I'm saying? I'll be cheering it on. You know what I'm saying? If it's anywhere on this side, you know what I'm saying, on this side of the territory, anywhere over here on the East Coast, that area, you know what I'm saying, I would love to be at one of them fights to come out, because it's already been a message. It's already been a mission saying what happened. Yeah, and we know what goes on. We know how everybody rock. We know how everybody stand. But you're gonna get a lot of people. You're gonna get a lot of people hurt, basically. So I would say, man, probably the best thing to do would just be to apologize. You know what I'm saying? Probably say, you know what, I got beside myself. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I was a little overzealous or whatever, because you're gonna have to answer to it. Can't really police call it up now. Don't try to church it up now. You know what I'm saying? Stand on what you said. And it seems like you are gonna stand on it, because you're still standing on that foolishness. You know you was out of pocket. You've been out of pocket, always on Coach Calvin. Always got something bad to say. You was out here. Was it bullying when you was out here putting up Tank's mugshot? Was that bullying? Was you out here doing that every day and saying that you hope he stayed in jail? Was it bullying when you was calling Keyshawn and Shakur the B word? Was that bullying? That wasn't bullying. But you supposed to be the father. And now you trying to play this whole father. Whenever a father has to stand up for his son, nah, you took it way too far, man. And it seems like it ain't no turning around yet. You can't be convinced. So I'm here. I support B-Hop. I wanted to do this message. I fully support B-Hop in his mission, and I hope that Bill keeps that same energy. Anyways, man, thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna stay tuned into this. You know what I'm saying? It's a long time coming, and I hope. Matter of fact, I pray that Bill Haney keep that same energy when he see B-Hop. Anyways, thanks for likes. Thanks for the views. Thanks for the clicks. This is not clickbait. I'm so sincere when I say that. Anyways, thanks for tuning in to BodyWorkBoxing. We don't take things for face value. We do that body.